Hello everyone, it's Tights, and today I'm going to be looking at some tournament data here on Limitless. These are in-person tournaments. Usually I just look at online tournaments because there's more data, but in some senses there's actually the data is not as like processed. Limitless doesn't do I don't know, they don't report as much on Japanese tournaments for whatever reason. Obviously it is potentially harder to get data because it is based in um, well, they're based in, I think Germany. I don't know, but they have obviously there's a lot of like American Pokemon players and a lot of European ones and a lot from there's some from Australia as well, but like when American, I mean like both Americas. But then there are obviously a lot of Japanese Pokemon players, but there's like a more traditionally a language barrier. Anyway, the Japanese Pokemon scene's really big though. It's actually I don't know if it's bigger than international. But I mean, it's only one country and it's very big. Like this tournament is 2,800 players. Presumably that's the cap versus this Portland one was just under 1,500 people. That might also be the cap, but and this is also only a regional. But yeah, it's decently big, but nothing groundbreaking. I mean, neither of these are groundbreaking, but the Champions League in Kyoto is really big. So we'll be taking a look at that one. Actually, I'm going to look at it second. We'll look at this regional, which was actually more recently as well, this past weekend. And the other one was the weekend before, which was the data wasn't in Limitless. I looked at it online, and there's some really cool decks for this, so stay till the end. This Arceus Aura one's super cool. This Goldengo one's pretty cool, and this Roaring Moon, it plays Dark, I think some of you have probably seen that list. Some of you may have seen most of these lists, but I'm going to start off with the Portland one. So I'm going to look at just the different deck lists. Go by, I think it's cards, yeah. So we'll start with Giratina Lost Zone, and nothing really that interesting here. We do see some list Tustin, Roaring Moon, Iron Hands, and then like Shaman V. Nothing too crazy. Someone popped in, or a couple of people popped in, like Avery. I wouldn't recommend that, but you could do that. Nothing crazy though. It's Giratina Lost Zone. We got Charizard, a bit weirder stuff going on here, but nothing that crazy. Surprisingly, not much Minior, although I guess there isn't as much Snorlax. Snorlax isn't like an insanely broken deck. It's a good deck. It's still, in my opinion, very much top five. I don't think it's the best, but behind, like, there are two Lost Zone decks. There's like Lost Zone Box, Giratina Lost Zone, and then I think it's behind Charizard, and I might put it at four. I'm also someone who generally probably underrates Gardevoir, so maybe that's above it. But I don't really think there's any other deck that I can think of off the top of my head that's better than Snorlax. But I guess people don't play Snorlax as much. And it's also in tournaments versus like on ladder and stuff. Things are a little different. But anyway, Charizard, nothing too crazy here. It doesn't look like. Not much TM evolution. Just like gloves appearing a bunch, which is, I guess, a little surprising, but it's not that crazy. And then we see, I don't know, but most of the other stuff is pretty normal. I'm mostly going with the Pidgeot engine, which is pretty normal now for Charizard. Obviously, it's really good allowing you to search for any card every turn, but yeah, very good. Next up, we have Gardevoir. Gardevoir has obviously Screamtail, and we see a Zacian V, and Baby Gardevoir, and Gardevoir EX, and yeah, there's not too much going on here. Luminia, I don't think Luminia's good in the oh, actually, I don't know. If you're playing Radiant Greninja, Luminia's not that bad because it's a Pokemon you can't attack with. So we can get trapped. Let's see, are they playing like switches? Most importantly, are they playing Professor Toast? Some are. The decent amount aren't. I'm surprised by that a lot aren't. But yeah, so this deck is still very vulnerable to being gust trapped. So that's a thing, but nothing too crazy going on with these lists. And then we come to Roaring Moon. We see Squawkabilly, Greninja, then Moltres, Morpeko, and Mew and Morpeko kind of fulfill a similar role as they're both pivots. Obviously, they do more than that, but not that much more than it, to be honest. Iron Hands is appearing in some of the lists. I personally am not a big fan of that, or the Water Energies. I feel like you want to generally just go with Dark Energies, but there's a place to slot in the Lightnings or the Waters. Wait, did this list run both? I want to see. Where is it? So Roaring Moon list. Yeah, they did play both. I've seen lists play both. I've like it doesn't really work very well playing both in my opinion because it's really awkward. You need to use like Energy Switch. And I'm assuming they played four. A lot of lists are playing Energy Switch, and it's okay. But I know you really need to attack turn one to get good value out of Roaring Moon. If you don't, you certainly can still win games, but it's harder. Um, or I don't know, the dynamic's not really in your favor is what I'd say. It's not like necessarily that hard, but well, it's no, it's harder. because it takes better play. You need to like play really well in order to do it. It's not necessarily super. Um, it's also harder for your opponent, and things are just going on in like a different dynamic. Obviously, generally like attacking is good though, and this is a deck that really wants to go second. Or yeah, really wants to go second in attack turn one. Into booster energy capsule, I think is also decent. I think you should either lean into it or not lean into it. It's really good because it gives you like tankiness against. I mean, a lot of things, right? Going from 230 to 29 is a really big deal. But if you are using a big one-shotting attack that like damages you a ton, it doesn't really matter that much. Going from 30 to 90 does matter occasionally, but it's not a huge deal. Um, what's cross switcher? I think I passed it. Anyway, some people do play cross switcher, right? Oh, it's right next. Okay, so some people play cross switcher and crossceiver. Oh, and then Darkrai. So yeah, we're gonna look at that. I'll actually pull up this list from Japan now. The Wrong Moon list came in second place. It plays a 1/1 Darkrai as well as 4 cross switcher and 4 crossceiver. In my opinion, this is not. I don't know. I mean, it's fine. I played the build. It's kind of cool. Crossceiver, for those of you who don't know, I imagine that's a card that not everyone knows. It is rotating as well. It's a fusion strike card, but you have to play 2 at once. And then put a supporter or Pokemon from your discard pile into your hand. The recovering Pokemon thing is not that useful, although you'll do it occasionally, but recovering the supporters are really nice. That being said, this list doesn't run a lot of different supporters. In my opinion, it's pretty mediocre. I think the card is kind of fun and kind of interesting, and with Darkrai V-Star recovering 2 items with your V-Star power, you can then just go ahead and recover 2 cross, which are 2 crossovers, or like 1 if you have one in your hand or something like that. So it can be nice, and Pokestop has synergy with that. No, in my opinion, Brute Bonnet's pretty nice. I don't think you need Minior, but I could see it being useful. And then, anything else? Not really. Forest Seal Stone is being played. If you're playing Darkrai, you wouldn't like play it, but yeah. Roaring Moon's not a, it is a pretty highly played deck. Mew Genesis deck, this is the one without the Meloetta. Wait, is it? Yeah, okay, so there's a different Fusion Mew, which I'll take a look at in just a second. Some people are playing Fusion Strike Energy. My thoughts on that are it's fine. I mean, you can, yeah, so they are running Elisa's. I don't know. I don't love it. I don't know what this. Yeah, no, I feel like that doesn't make a ton of sense. You do get some value though. Like you can run out of energies. Box Disaster is like good. Path is like good in the deck, I guess. I don't know. I don't love the deck. I feel like it lacks like power. Um, it like lacks something that other decks don't do because you're like giving up extra prizes. You do have the ability to like switch back in to, or like send yourself back into your deck, copying UV's attack with UV Max, the Psychic Leap. So then you go back into the deck, which can be nice, but it can cause problems. So it's not necessarily the best thing in the world, but overall, I think the deck's fine. Oh, there's Grabber. You can do like Grabber stuff. It's fine, but nothing too interesting there. It's for like disruption against like Charizard mostly in like stage 2 decks or evolution decks as a whole, and then you have let's see, nothing too crazy here. I do think Turcinator is actually pretty decent in the deck. Then I'll look at the Fusion Mew decks as well. We do see some Deoxys, which is nice against certain, I guess, or like certain single price. It's kind of good against Lost Zone, right? That's that's the best use of it. I ask you how much. Okay, yeah, that is 110. Yeah, so Deoxys tries to hit from Cramorant, which is pretty nice. Then pretty standard energy counts. Um, let's see, nothing else too crazy here. Two path. I feel like Path is. I mean, Path is obviously bad for the deck because I mean, it like you shut off all your abilities, and well, you do have the ability to remove it from play with Vacuum. I don't know. I've never loved it. I feel like two path is kind of not the most consistent thing in the world. But I don't know. I know a lot of people like UV Max, or some people do. I don't think it's the most popular deck, but some people like it. But it's fine. Um, and nothing too interesting in any of those lists either. As far as I could tell. Inteleon Urshifu, classic deck now been a classic deck for a while. Nothing too crazy. It doesn't look like immediately here either. Honestly, I'm surprised Spiritom's being played this low. I feel like it's pretty good, but it's fine. And then Waters, 5 water to me is like felt a little high, but it's fine. I mean, gets the job done. I mean, more water is like cutting it low. I'm often someone who says who doesn't like cutting energy, but in this case, I do, but it's fine. A lot of people like more energy. I mean, it's important for Italian VMAX ability and for attacking potentially. Especially with higher counts of Melanie, you are leaning more into the water energy style stuff. Aside from that, 3 Tower Waters seems a little high. I feel like you could run some other stadiums. Tower Waters is obviously like a good stadium. It's not like a broken stadium in the deck. Let's see, did people run any other stadiums? It looks like they didn't. Yeah. Earthen Vessel is obviously good for finding those energies. Clara for recovering energies, and Pokemon as well, but more so the energies. Terra Scenario is really nice for like healing. Did they run Cheryl? No, they didn't really run Cheryl. So they ran Terra Scenario instead. Obviously, there are some like reasons why it's not as good, but for the most part, it's oftentimes better. They're different cards, but they're similar. Counter Capture is pretty nice. Obviously, a lot of the time you're like up. Um, yeah. Yoda is potentially good. Nothing too crazy going here though. I do think the deck's a cool deck, but nothing too crazy. Then we got Lost Zone Paradox Box, which is technically a different deck than like Lost Zone Box, but they're the same deck. So you have Roaring Moon, Iron Hands. I am someone who likes two Cramorants often, but one's fine. Pretty common. Minior, in my opinion, like isn't good. I feel like you don't need it in a Lost Zone because you play like lots of Switch and can attack with like everything. But it's fine, I guess. Tropius, Raikou, Glen Moltres, Mew EX, Manaphy, Dragonite V. Yep, pretty normal stuff there. Gift Energy, a bit of a surprise. That's not always played that often, but it is potentially pretty good. Super Effective Glasses is an interesting card, but it is being played in the deck. Notably, it's there. I guess it's mostly there for like Tropius, but it can be useful in other scenarios as well. Um, it can be useful in Iron Hands, but not that useful. It's not often that useful. For Steel Stone, obviously you need to be playing Vs. If you're playing right one, I feel like you need to be playing 2 to 3 Vs. I feel like playing 2 Vs is the bare minimum you need to be playing, and some lists might play it without 2 Vs. If you're looking to play 3, maybe even more, but I think like 3 is a fair amount to run for Steel Stone. But imagine most of these lists, if any of them, don't run uh, 3 Vs. Let me actually see what the list with Dragonite V is running. This is running 1 V and 2 Force Steel. Oh no, it's 2 Vs, 2 Force Steel Stones. And that's fine, I guess. Um, let's see. So nothing too crazy. It's a pretty interesting deck in my opinion, but also it's not like a brand new deck. Now this is Lost Zone Box. Wait, what? Is this actually a different deck? What am I like looking at here? I guess like Lost Zone Box is just like random stuff. Is this actually a different deck? I guess it is. Okay, well, it runs Iron Hands and it also runs Roaring Moon, which is like the paradox aspect. So I don't really know what the paradox box means. Um, like, these don't run Tropius. I don't really know. I don't really know what like this deck is. Like what this runs Giratina V-Star. This is just Lost on Giratina. What is this? Um so yeah, I mean I think Mimikyu is really good. I'll say that. I think I've said this a bunch and I think Mimikyu is really good. Articuno is a really interesting tech for paralysis. It's kind of good, but doesn't make amazing use out of Mirage as well, which is kind of interesting because it's 2 energy of the same type, and that's it. Yeah, I honestly don't know what deck this is. Like, it's just a bunch of random nonsense. Like, it's not one deck, right? It's just a bunch of different lists from a bunch of different people, which is fine. One Sableye, one Reed. Well, I don't even know if it's one Sableye, one Kermit, or if it's like people playing different counts. I don't really know what's going on here. Yeah, I mean, Lost Zones is still a really good deck. I think Kyogre is good, but I don't love it, but I know it's good. Sableye obviously good. Radiant Greninja obviously good. Iron Hands and Roaring Moon are obviously good as well. Dragonite I think is generally pretty good, as well as Raikou. Lumineon. I mean, Lumineon can be good. It's really hard to search out, and you don't necessarily get a ton of value, but it can be nice. Yeah, I think that's about it. Team Devolution can be super powerful. I think I made a Lost Zone, like cards that are good in Lost Zone, I put it pretty high up because it's really nice. Ryan can be nice. Bravery Charm. Emergency Jelly, I'm assuming is for the Articuno. Yeah, Lost Zone does Lost Zone things, but that is a wide variety of things. Okay, Mardon Flaffy. In my opinion, this deck is incredibly mid. It obviously can do well, but in my opinion, it's not that good. But yeah, pretty normal stuff. Raichu V is so important. Iron Hands is honestly like kind of bad in the deck. Um, wait, what? 13 energy? That's like so low. Well, why is this so low? I don't know. So people aren't playing the the peony build. Wait, is that a different deck? Oh, it is a different deck. Okay, never mind. So yeah, they just have 2/2 Flaffy. I do feel like higher Flaffy counts. Lower Iron Hand, like Iron Hands isn't very good in right on Flaffy. It's okay, but it's not amazing. Tapu Koko EX, pretty cool card. I don't love it. I know some people who really do though. It does 120 paralysis for 2 if one of your Pokemon is knocked out last turn, which obviously can be super good. Electric Generator, obviously very important. Obviously justified gloves coming in again. EXP is pretty interesting. That's not something I was expecting to see. They conserve energy, but it can be really nice, especially with like setting up Raichu V, setting up Iron Hands, things like that. Obviously, it can be really good. It's an underplayed card right now. Is it rotate? It's not rotating. I'll look at the other Rhydon deck. This is the one with higher conserve energy. Um, Mostly running Peony, and then we see, or I guess like all the lists are running Peony, and then you have UEX, which is important for drawing cards, and you like want to set up Rhydon EX or Raikou. You can almost always set up Raikou turn one, and then you have Tapu Koko. I didn't realize that, but then you have oh yeah, there it is, Iron Hands. So Iron Hands, you want to go like fast Turbo Iron Hands, um, and then hit them early on, and they can't really respond, which is like a thing you can do, but it's kind of awkward. And then I think this deck is bad. I'm gonna say I think this deck is bad. Like it has no mid to late. Like after turn one, you like can't really do anything. You can do some stuff, but like by turn like 4, if you haven't won, you're probably gonna lose because like you don't have like if you're not like mostly there to winning the game by turn like 3 or 4, like you're gonna lose because you don't have any longevity. You don't play a lot of supporters. You like don't have energy recover. Like flat fleas are potentially really good. Um, like Regener is not that good. If you get lucky, it's really good. Or if you get like average luck and you get a bunch early on, it can be like super powerful. It can be very explosive, but I don't know if I'd say it's good. But you kind of need, especially if you're against like a really high HP Pokemon, like your opponent sends up Mew VMAX, like you just can't KO it because you need Raichu V and you need Flaffies at that point. And the deck doesn't play a lot of those, so more than likely they're gonna be prized, and then you probably lose. But anyway, I know some people like this deck. Obviously, it's not super highly played either, though. So we got Snorlax, we got obviously Snorlax. Oh, someone's playing Indeedee, Regieleki. Whoa. Indeedee's like a counter to some stuff. I kind of forget. I know it's like in theory, it's like a theory-based card, and it's really pretty good. Um, let's see. Nothing too crazy here. Luxurious in my opinion, underrated card in this deck, as it obviously gives you a bunch of HP, but I don't know if it's actually underrated or just underplayed. Pokemon League HQ potentially really good, but against most matchups, it's not that useful. Lost City could be useful, presumably the list playing Lost City is the only list they can attack, which is the NDD list. Also, I think Mimikyu, I've said this before, I think you should only play Mimikyu if you can, or generally you should only play Mimikyu if you can attack with it. That being said, I've seen the value of Mimikyu. If you like I've misplayed into this matchup and lost because of Mimikyu. Um, but if you like know what you're doing, then you won't misplay into Mimikyu. So yeah, in that matchup, I kind of messed up. But like if you're just playing normally, pretty much not every deck has an out to Mimikyu. Well, yeah, pretty much any deck has some out to Mimikyu. Not necessarily a good out to Mimikyu, but if they have like anything, you're just gonna like lose. Oh, I didn't, and I thought Mimikyu resisted fighting. It doesn't. So if they play Minior, they also like get through it. So yeah, I do think the Pidgeot EX list is also like potentially good, but is that a different deck? I'm not really sure. Next up, we got, oh yeah, it is. So yeah, this plays some more stuff. Mawile, potentially really good. Much harder to play, but really good. Luxray can be interesting. Dropping into one Rotom's kind of sketchy. Mm. Oh, they play different Pidgeots. I was like, why do you play one Pidgey? That seems bad. And then Radiant Charizard. Radiant Charizard, what? And Chi-Yu? Whoa, whoa, whoa. What is going on here? So Chi-Yu's a replacement for Carbonal, which it is. It's more or less the same card. But then you have hmm. I'm gonna find the person that played this. Okay, so um, let's open the list here. Okay, this is pretty cool. Oh, so you can burst. So you can burst Radiant Charizard and then just like one shot something, which is pretty interesting. Oh, I do feel like a Lost City would be really good here. Being able to like burst Radiant Charizard is potentially really powerful, but then only if you like lost on them. Also, like one Snorlax. I feel like this isn't really Snorlax anymore. Um, But anyway, it's a pretty interesting deck. I think the Charizard's super interesting. Chiyu obviously could be cool. You can attack with it as well and accelerate and stuff. Overall, I really like this list. I don't really know what to say about it. Oh, you can attack with Pidgey. I do think this needs Lost City. Like, how well did it do? They placed 20th. Oh, that's pretty good. And a pretty interesting deck here. I might play this in a video at some point. Maybe not. It might take some time. Let's see. Miraidon, Arceus. So Arceus runs Regigigas. Okay, this is not. Wait, did all three people play the same list? No, they didn't. Okay, but they played similar lists. I think Arceus, Regigigas, and Zacian. This is a deck that's been around a tiny bit. It's not that interesting either. Like Regigigas is good with its V-Star power, but you can't really use it with with Arceus. So yeah. Lost Zone Charizard. There we go. We got some more Lost Zone. Wow, this is boring. Yeah, Lost Zone Charizard is traditionally like the most boring of the Lost Zone lists, and this lives up to that, which is fine. Nothing too crazy going on here with Radiant Charizard. By the way, I feel like calling it Lost Zone Charizard like it could be EX as well. Champion Excalibur, potentially one of the best decks in the game, in my opinion. Still, you do have access to Iron Hands, which can be good. And then you have I don't know, you can play Canceling Cologne, and then Cross Switcher. I mean, it's like fine, but whatever. And then you have Jim Excalibur. I think will be interesting as it goes on, but right now it's fine. Then we have Goldengo Palkia, and I'm actually going to open up one of the lists from the Japanese tournament as well. Where is it? There we go. String Cheese Boy. And it runs Milotic. Milotic? Milotic? I don't know how to pronounce this Pokemon. But Dugard says whenever your opponent plays a supporter card from the hand, prevent all effects of that card done to you or your hand. I don't know exactly what it stops. I've been told it stops Avery. I mean, I know it stops like Iono and like Judge. That's like the big thing. Which is important with Golden Mango because you want a big hand. But I don't know. I've been told it stops Avery. I guess that's true. I don't know, but it's good for I don't know. It's good to stop. It's good to stop. Like, Roxanne as well. Stop saying Roxanne. Judge, which are annoying. I do think Four Work is kind of bad. They'll all say that. But anyway, so yeah, you want to get like big hands and stuff. Oh, then run list runs Toad School, so to protect your bench guys. Mm, It's kind of interesting there. It seems kind of hard to get the energy on the bench guys, but I guess good to protect like future Goldengos and Gimmigles. And then the Palkia V-Star, of course, the star of the show here. Accelerating energy to Palkia, to itself or Radiant Ninja, allowing for that attack. Or Milotic, you could attack with Milotic. What's it do? Yeah, that's bad. Okay. And then, and Manfu as well. But, you want to attack with Palkia. Honestly, I don't entirely get this. I've talked to people and no one else has gotten it completely either. But more or less, it takes the pressure off of your Goldengo, and obviously it does allow for the Radiant Ninja play. And the idea is that Goldengo can kind of get by without it. Then we see that nothing too crazy. The Golding has kind of morphed into that more recently. Anti-Iron Valiant, pretty generic. See Moltres, it's an option, but nothing crazy. Um, Bravery Charm, that's fine. I feel like Bravery Charm is actually pretty good in the deck and should be played a little more. Cloth Electrode, nothing too crazy here. Um, yeah, Bravery Charm, no, sorry, Luxurious Cape's a little surprising, but it's still fine. And then we see, let's see, anything else that like really stands out. We got Palkia and Ice Rider. We've seen this deck before. And these decks are just like, well, actually, okay, we only have a few more lists on this list. So yeah, I'll take a bigger look at this. It does run Chimpow, it does run Palkia, Ice Rider, Reading Ninja, but then also runs UBX, which you can attack with a Mawile, pretty interesting. And the Articuno as well, pretty cool. We have seen this deck. It's not like a brand new deck. It's still a pretty cool deck. And one that's not played a lot. Arceus Superior, like, what is this? Oh, it's just Superior. So it's like Superior V-Star. It's a pretty generic Pokemon. It's a grass Pokemon, so it hits grass weak Pokemon for weakness, which can be nice. Squirrel per barrel engine, Radiant Alakazam, Slacking V. It's a normal, like, Arceus Path deck. I'm assuming, yeah, it's like an Arceus Path deck, which is fine. I mean, it's a good deck, but yeah, Iron Valiant box. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, I saw this list. We'll take a look at that one at the end of the video, a little bit later. I'm going to take a look at these other lists first. Arceus Giratina, what? One's Venusaur remix and rotate? What? Okay. I didn't realize that it didn't rotate. So it does 30 Damage for each grass energy attached to all your Pokemon, and it can do 210 for 4, which seems like bad. Venusaur V does 190 for 3 on a basic, which is pretty decent, honestly. Um, what? This seems like bad. Wait, so if you have all 6 energy, you're hitting 180. What am I looking at? What? Okay, I mean, like, obviously, Gyarados Giratina is pretty normal, but why do you run Venusaur VMAX? That seems like weird. I guess you can heal. You can kind of like tank. You can do 210 and then heal 30, and then you have 330, so you're pretty tanky. That's pretty interesting. I might try this. Like, it's weird. I was not expecting that. Iron Valiant Urge Free. This is a deck that's been around. It's kind of bad. It's notoriously like kind of bad. Um, but yeah, it's a deck that I play Urge for Italian. It's just kind of better. You do have the option to attack with. Why do you run Luminous? Uh, oh, with yeah, yeah, so you can attack with Radiant Charizard. Pretty cool there. But yeah, but let's go back to that. Where's it? Iron Valiant box deck. Open is image. Go. We got it's a long list. So we got Green VMAX. Green VMAX, really cool Pokemon. Let's see, does it have buffs? It does. Whoa, or no, it doesn't. Okay, anyway, so Green VMAX, turn to profit 30 for 2 colors on a VMAX. But if your opponent's basic Pokemon is knocked out from damage from this attack, take 2 more prizes. So if you're hitting 30, you somehow buff it by 40, then you're one-shotting a lot of weak basics, and then taking 2 prizes for that, which is really nice. And then you have Palkia V-Star, which can power up Suicune, Carbonval, Lumineon if you want, or Radiant Greninja, as well as Melanie to power those things up. You have Rotom Squawkbilly's engines. Palkia itself can attack as well. Um, and then you have like normal Iron Valiant stuff with Future Boost Energy Caps. You have Jet Energy as well. Echoing Horn to like target guys down. Toy Catcher Gust, was it 40 or less? No, 50 or less. So Gust a Pokemon with 50 or less, which is a Pokemon that you're gonna knock out with Greedent. And then you have I don't know, there's just so much stuff going on. Wait, how is this list organized? Why isn't it like supporter? I guess it's sort of the trainers all grouped. Yeah, this is kind of confusing. So you have town store as well to search out your future booster energy capsule or forest seal stone. Then you have let's see, you have like normal ball search. Um, you also have Earthen Vessel, which is good with Melody. And then you have like some supporters and stuff. I don't know. There's like a lot of stuff going on here. Oh, Carbonval has synergy with, so Carbonval V does, it can mill too, but then it can also Story Punch 96 more for each damage count on your opponent's active. So if they have 40 on them, you're one-shotting them. It's 240. Yeah, if they have 20, you're hitting 120 plus night plus. You're hitting essentially 230 if you just ping them once. Carbonval V is like super powerful with Iron Valiant specifically. So this is really cool. Switch counts are decently high. But yeah, it's like an insanely cool deck. Like, whoa, this is so sick. I should probably try it. Tell me if which the I'm probably gonna do a poll on my channel, so then tell me which of these decks you want me to try out. But then the Champions League Kyoto. Let's look at statistics again, or cards, I guess, same thing. That we looked at before. So we got Charizard. They plays a new Charmeleon that's coming in the next mini set. Whoa, it's not that interesting. Um, let's see, nothing too crazy here. Yeah, this one ran a Pidgeotto. Sick. Yeah, this is pretty boring. Tool Jammer is being played, but yeah, whatever. Lost Zone box. This is the Lost Zone. I don't know. I like Lost Zone has a lot of different things. You have Sableye, Roaring Moon, you have Iron Hands, you have Raikou, you have Rain-Grinch, you have Kyogre. Someone's showing Radiant Charizard. Like, I don't know how the decks get classified in Limitless either. But obviously, Lost Zone box still a lot of potential and potentially one of the best, if not, in my opinion, it is still the best deck. Although it's kind of split into like 5 different decks, but whatever. Guillotine Lost Zone also really good, potentially best deck in format. Much more straightforward. Double Kermit, I love that. Could be triple Kermit if one person didn't play any, but I doubt that. You see Jet Energy. I'm not the biggest fan of Jet Energy in the deck. I know people really like it, and I guess it is like good, but eh. Then we got Gardevoir. I'm doing Gardevoir things of being, in my opinion, kind of boring, but it does still have Scream Tail, which is nice for sniping. Oh, Moonlight Hill as well. Moonlight Hill. It heals. I guess I talked about it in a video, I think 2 days ago, maybe yesterday, maybe 3 days ago. I don't remember. But yeah, it's a supporter, or sorry, a stadium really good for Gardevoir coming out soon. Roaring Moon. This is Lone Dark. I talked about it, but it's still really cool. Mew. Yeah, that's Mew. All right. We got ourselves Arceus. Will come back. Urshifu Valiant. Yeah, that deck, as I said, not the greatest. I think this might be the same list we looked at before. It's very similar with Radiant Charizard and Luminous. So pretty cool, but nothing too innovative. Gimmighoul with Palkia and Milotic. I just talked about that. Arceus Giratina, I just talked about. Does not play Venus or VMAX. And then lastly, we got Arceus Zeraora. Zeraora, with Flying Pikachu. So Zeraora's got two evolutions, a V-Star and a VMAX. The VMAX does 60 for 2 lightning for each your opponent's Pokemon to play that has an ability, which potentially could be a lot because, I mean, there are a lot of. It's probably hitting like 180, 240, which is really nice. Will one shot with weakness. 240 for 3, discard 2 from it, which is it's okay, but the first attack's the better attack. And the V-Star, when 90 for 3, you may discard a statement play. Potentially useful, but probably not. Lightning Stormstar, though, V-Star power for 4. So if you have not used Arceus' V-Star power, which I'm assuming is... Oh, you have 4 seals down. So probably not using this V-Star power, but you could choose one of your opponent's Pokemon up to 4 times, and you can choose the same one. Or, yeah, you can choose the same one more than once. You can mix and match. Yeah. And then you do 60 to each time, and it isn't affected by weakness or resistance. So I actually didn't know that. I just assumed it wasn't on the bench, but you can't one-shot a Cramorant. You need to like ping it twice. This can be used to take a bunch of prizes, potentially 4 KOs, but it won't. It's okay, but it doesn't hit quite as much as you want. It's kind of weird as well. And then you obviously have Arceus, Flying Pikachu, Lightning type, Walling, one different weakness, which is super nice. And then it's 160 Walling basics as well. You have Ditto, which can transform. You have Canceling Clone. Honestly, pretty cool looking list. You have a lot of tank options as well with V-Guard Energy. But overall, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, consider subscribing. I will be, I think, covering some of these decks more detail in the future. And as always, I'm excited to see you in the next video. Also, subscribe if you enjoyed, like the video, comment down below your thoughts, and all that good stuff.